G'day guys, welcome to this video on one-step equations. These four that you can see are examples of one-step equations, and the whole point of these types are to perform one operation, one step, to solve the value of x, to find out what the number is. It doesn't have to be x, but the pronumeral in that particular equation. So let's answer these one-step equations. We've got number one, a number take away 4 equals 10. And I bet you know what that number is when you substitute that value in for x to make that statement true. However, what we are going to do is we're going to look at a particular type of method to solve these types of equations. Now, the inverse of this take away 4 we've been practicing is adding 4. So we're going to add 4 to both sides of the equation, and one side of the equation in this problem is the left-hand side of the equals, and we've got the right-hand side. Now, when we've added 4 to the left-hand side, we need to balance the equation by adding 4 to the right-hand side as well. You need to do the same thing to both sides. And let me just go through a simple scenario of why we add 4 to both sides, or doing the same operation to both sides, by looking at this simple case. Okay, so 3 plus 5 we know is 8, but I'm going to write 8 in a different way. So I'm going to write 3 plus 5 is equal to 6 plus 2, which we know is true. Now, if we did the same thing to both sides of this equation, let's just say we added 4, the left-hand side now becomes 12. So what we have to do is make the right-hand side equal to the same value, which is going to be 12 as well. So that's why we do the same thing to both sides. Now, once we have added 4 to this negative 4, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So this value here, negative 4 plus 4, we are now no longer going to write. This x is now written in the next line, and then we've got 10 plus 4, which we can calculate, which was 14. Now you can substitute that number back into the original equation, 14 take away 4. If that is true, which it is, we now have got the correct value for x. The second one, the opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. So if we take 4 away from both sides, 4 take away 4 is nothing. That x is written on the next line. 10 take away 4, work that out, and we have the value of 6. So 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. Okay, another couple of examples on one-step equations. So with question 3, it says 2 times a number, so that's what this operation represents. 2 lots of a number equals 10. What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? Now, if you said dividing both sides by 2, you are correct. So if we have 2x divided by 2, how many x's do we have? If you said 1x, fantastic. And then we have 10 divided by 2. Evaluate that expression, and we have 5. So 2 times 5 is equal to 10, so therefore our answer is 5. Now, what's happening with the x in this equation? X something 4. This is another way of writing divided by 4. So what's the opposite of dividing by 4? Multiplying both sides by 4. Now, if we have 4, and then we divide by 4, like we had with question 3, the values of 2 cancel out. So these two numbers will cancel out because 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1, lot of x. And we have the right-hand side 10 times 4, which is equal to 40. So we now know that if we substitute this 40 back into the value of x, 40 divided by 4 is equal to 10. So with any type of equation, it doesn't have to be one step. However, to solve equations, we do the inverse operations. So here's the operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What is going to be the inverse operations, or the operations that are opposite to the ones indicated? So the opposite of adding is subtracting. Opposite of subtracting is adding. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. And of course we have a whole range of operations not indicated here, but you need to figure out what is the inverse operation that undoes the actual operation with the pronumeral. So thanks for watching this video on one-step equations.